everybody. Welcome to If These Walls Could Talk. I'm Wendy Stuart, and yes, I am here by my lonesome again, so show me a little love. First thing I want to tell you is please tune into the show on my YouTube channel, which is Wendy Stuart TV, If These Walls Could Talk. Tim is not here, and we don't have his Facebook connection. So I stand alone on YouTube. Please come and keep me company. Love to see you there. So I want to thank everybody who took the time. At this point, it's a couple of hundred people. Okay, I pushed it, to wish me happy birthday. Yes, last night before it was even midnight, I could not contain myself anymore. And I'm like, damn it, I'm going to put a rockin' picture on there and let everyone know after the stroke of midnight is my birthday. And it's a big one. There's nothing like having a big birthday and you're here to celebrate it and you feel fabulous and you can do fabulous things in the world. So that's what it's all about for me. And speaking of fabulous things in the world, a lot of people have said to me, oh, Wendy, what can we get you for your birthday? What would you like? Here's what I would like. A lot of people are hurting in California right now. And if you go to my Facebook page and scroll down a little bit, you'll see an organization on there where the money goes directly to museums and actors, not the people that were making a ton of money, people that performed all over and had gigs or gig workers. And a lot of them lost their houses. A lot of them lost the clients that they used to work for. Okay, so there's that. And then there is the Pasadena Humane Society. Okay, why them in particular? As small as you might think they are, they're not. They're huge. And they have taken on the greater good of rescuing people's pets, people's livestock, and wild animals too. They've set up burn units. I mean, the sky has been the limit, and they're also working with other vets. So the money definitely goes to them and then is farmed out responsibly. So it's the Pasadena Humane Society. You can visit my Facebook page. I have the contact information. It's pasadenahumane.org. Really easy. You can hit a donate button. You can say it's in honor of my birthday, or you don't even have to say that. Just do it. Everybody in New York is saying, oh my God, well, what can we do to help? Folks, this is huge. And if you know me really well, I'm all about activism. I try and change things in the world and make things happen. So that's something I can do and you can do in honor of my birthday. So in honor of my birthday today, I'm very excited about my guest today. I only recently met her and she's already fabulous. I'll tell you what, before I tell you about her, I always have little snacks I put out for my guests here. Tim and I call it craft services. And today, normally I buy like black and white cookies, chocolate croissants. Something made me buy pink chocolate hearts and pink marshmallows today. Okay, I've never put that out for my guests. And I have to tell you the truth. She comes in and she's wearing a big pink fuzzy jacket. It's the kind of thing I would wear. I'm like, oh my God, amazing. So, pink craft services to go with the pink fuzzy jacket. My amazing guest today. On her bio, she said she was born in Northern Ontario on a horse surrounded by Neil Young. I just love that visual. It became like Mary Magdalene. It was like that for me, imagining her like being birthed on the back of a horse and Neil Young singing, I've been on the desert on a horse with no mane. Okay, just bear with me. I have a big imagination. But besides being like a major makeup artist at one point in her life before she became a major musician, she worked on people like Paul McCartney, Heidi Klum. And then she switches careers and ends up on such a high level, has recordings up the wazoo, has been at the Mercury Lounge as well as many other venues in New York. And you know what? When I booked her on the show, she said to me, can I bring my drummer? I'm like, sure, we'd love to have the drummer here. We don't have live instruments on this show, thank God. Otherwise, he would have had to bring his drums. But she brought her amazing drummer. So please put your hands together for Lorraine Leckie and Keith Robinson. Come on down. Slide into our humble little studio here and have a little seat. I'm going to move all the way over. This is how we do it, folks. Come over a little bit more. Beautiful. She's like, good. So I'm telling the truth. Okay, we have even more room. We got to get really tight here. We're really tight. I'm going to move this back a little. Is everybody in? Yes, I have. We're all in. Isn't that great? That's just magic. Are you impressed? Because you were kind of wondering, Keith, how this was going to roll, right? You see, and we have the green dot. You just have to, keep your eye on the prize, keep your eye on the green dot. And you're so funny. She's like,
everybody in the show is about to begin.
The show is about to begin. Is everybody in? So I love that you're holding up the prop. Did you eat any of these yet?
California.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Lorraine. Right. California in our hearts. So we have our wonderful guests here today. And thank you both, first of all, for being here. Thank you to Lori Tower, who finds the most amazing people for me and tells me all the time, oh, you should have this person on. What about this person? What about that person? So what about it? I'm like, yes, let's get Lorraine on. And here we all are today. So you came from Canada originally.
I did.
Wow.
I went to Europe first and then Southeast Asia.
And then Southeast Asia. This girl has been around. And I do want to talk about your early origins because you had success, real success as a makeup person. And then you left it. That's always amazing to me. That's and the story of how you left it, going on your makeup gigs with your guitar. That was just like
that was the last few years.
It was her. She was on her last leg. They're paying her $3,000 a day, and she shows up with her guitar. And these advertising clients, they don't want to know.
They were not impressed.
They weren't impressed. Nobody saw her greatness. Okay, so you grew up in Ontario, and were you like a musical kid? What was?
No, not at all. My grandmother got me a piano when I was little, and I wasn't interested. I was interested in makeup and boys,
makeup and boys. I would say, we're pretty similar. Maybe more makeup than boys, and animals too. I was always interested in having animals. So, you started out. It seems like on a very high level. I mean, you know.
I was sort of lucky.
I knew you were going to say that.
I was lucky because I was at the forefront of that genre of makeup artists that were doing natural makeup.
Right.
So everybody kind of had enough of the real heavy stuff. And it was like all the talent was like, could you make the person look like they were not wearing makeup?
I hated that. Please.
And I was really good at that.
You were good at that.
I got popular really quick.
You did, right?
Yeah, in Toronto, I got within a few months. I was doing magazine covers, and then I went to Milan.
Oh, that's the route for people that don't know. Because my husband was a fashion photographer. You would start out in New York, and then you would go to Paris and Milan. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know he shot for Italian Vogue. I still have all the tear sheets. Milan was a place where you could make it happen, and obviously they love what you were doing there.
Oh, it was amazing.
Natural makeup. Oh my God, I'm a person that loves drag, so that will tell you where I'm. You can't have enough paint on. I mean, if it looks like it's been put on by plaster of Paris, it's good for me. I'm right there with you. So, you really took off.
So I took off with that, and then I came to New York in 1989, just as the wall was coming down.
In Europe.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I love that interesting that you said that. I don't think I've had one person that's come on this show that referenced that in their background or talked about how they experienced the wall coming down. How is that for you? The Berlin Wall was coming down.
I was behind the Iron Curtain, because they would let you go in for a day.
How it was weird, right?
It was so weird. Because you could see the West.
Right.
And there's that big ass fence with all the barbed wire and the guys with the guns, the guards. And
you're there shooting fashion.
As a matter of
doing
fact,
fashion.
I was on a train going from Milan to Hamburg, Germany, and there was a guy that was looking at me weird on the train, and I'm like, "What are you staring at?" And he goes, "You look just like my sister." And I said, "Where's your sister?" And he said, "She's behind the Iron Curtain." I escaped, and then he pulled his pants down, showed me his butt where they shot him in the ass.
That is that's a moment. It's like a little TMI, but you know what? It's reality. I mean,
it gets better. When the train stopped, I said, "Don't ever contact me again. Here's my passport. Get your sister out. If she looks like me, get her out of there."
Wait a minute.
And I
Okay,
said,
hold
don't
on.
ever contact me again. And I got to my agency there and I said, oh, my passport, I lost it on the train.
This is an incredible story. So you gave him your passport for his sister.
Yes, I did.
Do we think she got out?
I have no idea. I hope so.
That is like, I got to tell you, Lorraine, that's a little dicey a move on many levels. Because, the wrong person ends up and realizes, and this guy could have ratted you out, and they would have come looking for you. And, you end up in jail there. And that's it. What was that film where
I was in?
I
was on the west side.
Okay,
so you only could go into the east for
Lorraine. I'm like,
wow,
that is an incredible story. So, you got some cañones on you, girl. So, the wall comes down, and you were probably working like crazy in Europe.
I was working in Europe. Then I came to New York because I was interested in a man that was here that invited me.
Wait, I love this. Hold on. It's like, no, you're squinting your eye. Okay. We're envisioning, should we all do this together? Will you please join us? Envisioning. Okay. If we shut our eyes really tight, we can see him.
We could see him.
What did he look like?
I don't remember because I got here and I couldn't stand him, but I loved New York and I knew it was going to be my home.
You knew it would be your home.
Yeah, and it was also closer to Canada.
Yeah. What year was that? So what year were we talking?
89.
It was 89.
Yeah, I never left. I just stayed after that.
Wow. And you know what they say about people like that? They're supposed to be here. I'm jumping over to you now and then I'm going to go back to her because this is really way interesting. Keith, you're a Texas boy.
Yes.
How did you end up coming here?
I ended up coming here actually because my daughter wanted to go to her senior year of high school here.
I love your daughter already. Don't you love it when the kids tell you what to do?
And like I'd been constantly touring in Texas for 10 years.
I'm going to pull you over a little bit more this way because I want to hear your story. So you had been touring as a drummer.
Yeah, for 10 years, pretty much 10 years straight. And then I was off the road and our daughter sat us down and asked us said, I want to go to my senior year of high school.
I know. I love the daughter sat them down. The parents did not sit the daughter down.
And she said, I want to go to my senior year of high school in New York and to see if I like it because I want to go to NYU.
Oh my God.
And so we sat and she goes, y'all love New York. And I think this is a plan. And we were like thinking about it going, that is a pretty good plan. So we rented our house in Austin for a year.
You guys were in Austin. Great.
And then it ended up just working out. Then she applied to NYU and that was the only school she applied to and she got in.
I love the things that fairy tales are made of. I know you do too. I mean, these stories are great. What did she study at NYU?
She was in the what's the name? It's the school where
Tisch?
it's where they make up their own major.
It's not Empire. I bet I know. I met another kid that did. So she wanted to make up her own major. So independent thinker.
Yeah, and so she graduated like top of her class there, and then got her.
It's a great story.
Got her graduate degree at Columbia, and then moved to LA, and she's a horror writer now.
And she's doing great.
Okay, so you know what I love about this show, because Keith just shared this with me. Y'all thought we were going off on a tangent, and I do, but I always bring it back home. I know a number of people in the horror industry, so we're going to talk more. Cool. Yeah, like for real, that are doing that are no names out there. So she's writing horror. Horror is a very big genre, and you're settled in New York for how many years already?
15 now.
Oh yeah, that makes you a native. Wow.
Kind of,
right.
I know you'll get some pushback from people on that. I know it's like you got to be born here.
That is not true. I was born and raised here. I love that he's got a slight Texas accent, which I did not hear when he came in. But I love that. And by the way, Austin is an incredible city. It really is.
20 years there.
Yeah. So you know what? Keith has cred beyond his drums. Okay, I'm jumping back to you, because now in your timeline, right? You're showing up on your gigs with your guitar.
Well, I didn't. When I first came to New York, I did all kinds of work, and I was still doing makeup. But then, as I got into my later 30s, I was like, "Is that all there is?"
That's my favorite song. I love that.
All there is.
Is that all there is to life?
But it was really the models' faults because they would say to me, when we'd be at drunken dinner, so they'd say, "You should be a songwriter. Your poems are good." Because I'd get drunk and I'd read the poems because I'd have my courage up.
Right.
So,
Drinking lets you lose your inhibitions. So you were writing poetry.
Always.
You always wrote
and
poetry.
I wrote a journal always. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's a very, very big part of who you are then. I did not know about the poetry. Do you do spoken word events?
I've been writing these poems for years. A lot of times they turn into songs, but now I'm going to do a book.
Fabulous.
My husband's going to illustrate the book.
He's an illustrator.
No, but he's just really good at illustrating.
Yeah, okay, so
he does all my artwork.
Right.
And,
you guys are both serious artists. So before you jump ship into music, some of your clients that you did makeup on were some very big clients.
Yeah, I worked with pretty much everybody.
But Heidi Klum?
Yeah, Heidi, I worked with a lot. She was great. See, I come from fashion background. So when I was in Europe, I only worked with fashion models.
I know, I got that, yeah.
And then when I came to America, I started working with celebrities. So that was a whole new world. I preferred the fashion models.
Okay, what was it about the fashion models?
They didn't have PR people. They didn't have publicists. They're just they're clothing racks. They're like these intense, beautiful, skinny. They have nothing with them except a pack of cigarettes.
But it's very, very creative for you because you've got to create the look on them, and you don't have a publicist breathing down your neck or a handler.
Telling me what to do.
Right. There's no handlers breathing down your neck. Wow.
Right. So I was used to that. And then when I came to New York, I started working with celebrities, and then I kind of got used to that too. So it was then a mix.
I get used to working with celebrities too. Yeah, it's an interesting mix. I think what I'm so impressed with, Lorraine, is in the short amount of time that you did this, because I know makeup artists, even now that have been doing this forever, we're talking 40 and 50 years in the industry that are still working. You really were able to cover a lot of ground in a short amount of time.
I got in and out.
Right. But I also think you said you were lucky, you were good. We all know timing's got a lot to do with where we hit in life, right?
Yeah.
Your timing was perfect.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't happening for you anymore.
I just knew it.
You knew it.
I just felt like I had more in me, like I was going to be able to do more. And then,
but what about the money though and everything?
You can't take it with you, right? So I knew that.
God bless you.
And
I need to have some of you rub off on me.
I don't need a lot. Like if you asked me, hey, let's move to New Orleans, I'd be on the street in half an hour with all my stuff. Like I'm not a material person.
I got it.
Yeah, I don't need a lot of stuff. I like thrift.
Yeah, this is gorgeous. Yeah. I have it in white, by the way, and I have a muff to go with mine. You need to get the matching muff. Go on, I digress. So you were not afraid to follow your heart, follow your passion.
I've always done that. Like I'm kind of like I live in a magical world, and that's not always working out because suddenly someone will die, and I'll be like, wait, that doesn't happen.
Right. So, why did that happen?
Yeah, I'm like too much of an optimist, and I live in a kind of world. So when things like that happen, I'm kind of really shattered and all out of sorts.
Because you have no place to put it in your framework of who you are and what you're about.
Exactly. Like in my world, we just get more beautiful and better, and we just do more interesting things. Like maybe I'll become a rocket scientist if I get bored with music.
I know rocket scientists too. We can, and that is for real. I'm a member of the Explorers Club. I know actual rocket scientists. So yeah, we can talk about you doing that. I have full faith that you could do anything that you want to do.
I went to this conference and there were rocket scientists there, and it was this big science conference.
Yeah, how was that for you?
I don't know how I got invited there. I can't even remember.
You're way out of the box for that, by the way.
Guess who got all the attention?
You did.
Yeah, because I was a makeup artist, and I could say, I worked on this one and I worked on that one.
Right, and you're also, if you're engaging as a human being, you can, in my case, interview anyone, talk to anyone. Listen, I interviewed a guy that, I'm like, what do you do? He says black holes. I'm not usually at a loss for words, but what do you say about black holes? Well, pardon the pun, infinity. There's infinite things to say about black holes and galaxies and all of that stuff. You just, right? We're open-minded people like you. I am very, very optimistic. but I do have that other side. It's that business side. It's not that it's pessimistic, but it's my harder side is my business side, because you're lucky. You have done well going with the flow. I'm much more, it's got to happen. And if it's not happening in a certain time frame, then I got to come at it for a different way. And maybe that's not so good. I'm hoping while I sit here with Lorraine, I'm going to keep rubbing her, and some of her attitude will rub off on me. So you first picked up a guitar when?
37. And
that is just like,
I was doing makeup, and I was married to a psychologist, a Jungian psychoanalyst.
So wait, you were married to a psycho? I'm sorry, that's really funny.
My first husband was a rock star from Canada.
That was Vibe Tones. You were in the group Vibe Tones.
I wasn't in it.
Okay,
no.
So it was Vibe Tones,
Steve
right?
Leckie, and then my second husband was a guy, Brent Nichols, and he was a Jungian psychoanalyst in New York.
That's like a departure from husband number one. That's,
right.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
And husband number 3?
Billy Leroy. I've been with him since 1998.
And that's Billy's Antiques, right?
Yes.
Who everybody knows. Yeah. That floated my boat to read that. That's like so cool. I can totally see that.
He's the best because he doesn't try to control me, or like he's not jealous, and he lets me do whatever I want to do.
I love that.
And he's fine.
And he's cool, and whatever you do is cool with him.
Yeah, he's French.
Oh, that'll explain it, right? Those French guys.
But he's real French, like from Paris.
Does he speak with a French accent?
No, actually, his mother was American and his dad French.
Okay, so he's a half and half.
He was born in France, but he really grew up in New York City. Yeah.
So now I have you at the age where you pick up your guitar for the first time. While she was picking up her guitar for the first time, what were you doing?
I've been playing drums my entire life.
I knew I was going to get that. Did you start out in a garage band?
I started out because I was listening, like jamming in my house. I got a drum set when I was 10 and jamming out to Kiss records when I was a kid.
Kiss. So Kiss was you loved Kiss.
That was my gateway in. And
really? Then, what about like Led Zeppelin?
That came later.
They're my fave. I love Kiss. It's fine. I knew Gene Simmons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from New York. Yeah, personally. Not like we were like besties and hanging out with each other. And Gene was like, "Hi, Wendy, would you like to come over for dinner?" But I knew him because he came up around the same time as the New York Dolls and a whole bunch of groups like that. And that was, I'm dating myself, when I was in college. It was, those people were accessible then, and they weren't megastars. They were all at, what was it, CBGB's, and what were some of the other clubs?
Max's Kansas City,
Max's. So while you were like a kid in Texas,
I mean, they were just like,
I love it,
like fictional superheroes to me.
I love this.
It wasn't even about the music; it was about the whole spectacle of the thing. And then that's what got me into drums. But then I played, and then I got in the school band thing, and I got a college degree to become an orchestral percussionist.
Oh, so now we're on the serious thing. This is not just about rock and roll. You actually got a degree to play in an orchestra.
Right. Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah. So I always had this parallel life of being like the rock guy and being, and then putting on the tux and playing timpani and stuff.
But how cool is that? And you had this academically oriented daughter who yet was independent enough to come up with her own major and is now doing her thing. So now I love when I can come full circle with things. I need to know the reasons for things. So, you had the background as well. And then what made you start playing out there with bands? How did you get out of the garage?
Well, I went to college and I was studying. It was that same thing where I was studying during the day to be an orchestral musician. And then I had a band in college and we played in the local bars.
You did. Yeah. A lot of people I've had on the show, they had, their college band and stuff.
Yeah. And then from college, our band decided to move to Austin right out of college. And so,
which was smart because we're talking about timing. We talked about timing with you. Austin was on fire by that time.
Yeah. It was
a good place to be.
It's always been the place in Texas. That's where all the musicians.
Because it's cool. It's totally cool. No matter what happens in the rest of Texas, Austin is like, maybe they'll succeed from the rest of Texas. Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't mean that at all.
Along with us in California, we'll bring Austin.
Right, we're going to. I love how Lorraine thinks. Right, we'll bring Austin along with us, and we'll have our own little Shangri-La. Yeah. I'm sorry, Keith. Yeah. So you started playing all around. You were the drummer in the band.
And yeah, I moved to Austin. The band that I moved to Austin with, we played for about a year. Then everybody kind of went their own way.
Right.
And then I just played with a bunch of different bands, all different kinds of music. And then I got hooked up with a couple bands that toured, nationwide, and had, and some things happen, that kept me busy for between those two bands for like 10 years.
Oh, but that's huge that you can say that.
Yeah.
There was no downtime. You didn't have to go get another job. You were working.
No, yeah. And
that's a biggie, to be in the arts and be working and not have those lull periods in between. Good for you.
Yeah. Well, it's not to say, the lull periods are part of like being a professional musician.
Right. But you didn't have a lull of like 2 years.
No.
Right. That's a biggie. You were employed doing what it is that you love, and, take your passion, make it happen.
Right. And now at this point, it's like, that's all I can really do. It's all I've ever done. So it's like, this is what I'm doing.
I'm bringing you back on camera here. No other skill sets but drumming.
That's right.
Okay. Here's your man right here.
Our single, he did the video and he played the other instruments. He played the guitar.
And this is the new single that we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really exciting that I'm going to ask, with all the musicians that you have worked with your demons, how is it that Keith ended up wearing all those hats?
Well, we're doing the me and my demons, Hugh Poole and Charlie Demon, Charles DeChance. We're doing a whole album, and it's almost finished, but it isn't finished yet. And so Keith and I, we started. Those demons would be gone in the summers, and Keith and I'd be around, and we did a single.
You guys were around.
Shake Off the Drama, and
she writes a lot. She's a very prolific writer, and so she's got these songs that have been written for a long time that are being put on this record, and and Hugh's doing that at his studio with the band and all that kind of stuff. And so she had this other stuff, and she just wanted to put something out in the meantime.
Understood. Yeah.
And so
and you were here, and so why not? She got a guitar and lyrics. You got drums. Let's put on a show.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's true, because we play in the summer when those demons are away. We're kind of left to our own devices. But now, if Keith will do it, which I don't know, I'm asking him publicly.
No, this is great, because now we have evidence. We're doing it on a national broadcast. Come back on
to
to
do a single with Keith every 3 months.
Oh, we can probably make that.
Yeah, you can.
See, okay.
You know what? When you find people that you can artistically work with, it's everything. Well, I would like to play this single. That this is your newest single, right?
Yeah.
Called
My Lucky Number Is Zero.
My Lucky Number Is Zero. And before we play that, I just have to tell you, I love the title of it. Here we go. My Lucky Number Is Zero.
Hey, Keith, this is Lorraine. I got a song I think we should record. It's called My Lucky Number Is Zero.
We'll mute it now.
I know it's dark and I ain't no walk in the park. Come on, don't be shy. Take a swim in my eyes. Take a chance on me. Take a chance on me. Take a chance on me. What do you gotta lose? I see you walking the street, a lonely dancer with two left feet. One's going north, the other's going south. Bring your east and west to my house. Take a chance on me. Take a chance on me.
What is this area? He's a boy.
What do you gotta lose?
He has a Boston turn.
Nothing in the cobwebs in that time. Now you're under the spotlight. My lucky number is zero. My lucky number is zero. My lucky number is 0.
We go.
Take a chance on me. Take a chance on me. Take a chance on me. Take a little chance on zero.
Love. Love, totally love. I have, of course, so many questions, but first I want to give a shout out to Otis, the Boston Terrier. That's Keith's Otis. And obviously you can tell the way he is in the video. He's used to being around the music. And at one point he sits down and he adoringly looks at you while you're playing the drums, and he's it's so cute. He's really special.
He's pretty good about being like, we're doing Lorraine's record, and we'll take him over to Hugh's studio, and I just bring a blanket wherever I sit down the blanket. That's
he's chill.
That's his home base, and he doesn't bark, he doesn't growl, he loves everyone.
Otis is perfect.
He is.
Wow. Okay, my lucky number is 0. Tell me the inspiration behind this.
You know, I just wrote it like that, you know, and it's just kind of about a ne'er-do-well woman who's kind of going here and there, and she's got a low self-esteem, but she kind of knows she has something at the same time. And it's like, take a chance on me. It's just sort of like, I think it's open to interpretation.
Right. There was the repetition of take a chance on me. There was a song back in the early 80s, Take a Chance on Me. I think ABBA did it.
Yeah.
When they,
wow.
And it's repeated the same way. Yeah. And I didn't know if that was an inspiration for you or not. But
maybe not. I didn't. I'm not.
Maybe
I'm
subliminally.
Not a big ABBA fan or anything, but that, I mean, that music is like in print. It's like part of our,
DNA. It is part of our DNA.
And that's how music, music. It's
Absolutely.
also Lena Lovitch had a song called My Lucky Numbers. One is my lucky number.
I think it's one is my
something like that. And someone pointed that out. I was like, I love that song. So it all goes
in your it all goes in your head.
Yeah.
What is your lucky number?
8.
Is it
because it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. H is the first letter in the word horse. So I'm a horsewoman. So I picked it when I was little. I picked it when I was little.
I ask these questions because you never know what you're going to get for an answer. Your commitment to horses is just, you're a horse person living in New York.
I'm a horsewoman. I'll always be
a horsewoman,
but I switched to dogs, really.
Well, because you're living in Brooklyn now.
Exactly. I can't even I can't get a pony.
You can't have
get a horse on the lease.
I thought about it because I have a tiny backyard and we bought a house, You
could get
sneak a pony.
You could get him one of those. You could do this. I'm going to tell you what you could do. A miniature, if you could prove you needed the horse for therapeutical reasons. They have those very small horses. And don't you see? I watch YouTube videos and things online where people have horses in their kitchen. That's why
we had the horse as soon as
the
my
horse
parents
was in
would
the
go
kitchen.
out, the horse would come in the house and watch TV and cartoons and everything.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, totally.
Did they do that in Texas? Did you know anyone that did that in Texas? That's horse country.
I'm a firm suburbs kid. So yeah.
So there was no one in the suburbs with a horse in the kitchen.
No, there was like my dad, I mean, that may have happened like in my dad's. Yeah, he was a farm. Yeah,
he was a farm boy, so maybe the horse made it in the kitchen because they were out on a farm. But in Lorraine's world, in Northern Ontario, the horse came into the kitchen.
Oh, into the living room.
And right, because unless she had a TV, I right. You did say the horse watched TV, so
and my parents would come into the driveway. And we could see them coming in, and we just moved the horse out the front door. So they would never know. We brought him in the back door, moved him out the front door. As the parents were arriving, we just let him go out the front door.
So they never had any wind that the horse was in the kitchen.
No, I mean,
You haven't written this song, "The Horse Was in the
Yeah.
Kitchen." Can
it
I
was
expect
so
that?
normal. It was so normal.
I know, but it's now I'm thinking I want to hear "The Horse Was in the Kitchen." You can come up with lyrics for this. I know that
I
you can.
could.
This is a great story, and I'm going to tell you it's healing for people. I'm going to tell you why. When we go on, when the world is exploding and these terrible things are happening, we can watch a video where there's people that are so far out there that they get what animals are and they get what horses are. That horse loved being in the kitchen and probably like watching TV too.
Of course.
Because the horse was part of the family.
Yes.
What was the horse's name?
Well, we had different. I had a couple. I had
There were
Tony the
big-
pony.
Oh,
Tony the
Pony, and
Oh my
there
God.
was Big Red, who was the horse, and Tony the pony was a pony.
Was smaller,
Yeah,
right? Because
yes,
Tony
yeah.
was a pony, but then Big Red was how many
And
hands
Big Red
high?
got in the house too.
And Big Red was in a house.
Big Red was huge. He looked like Secretariat.
Oh my
he was a
God.
big-
He was big and like
Big red horse with
had to be beautiful.
gorgeous.
We
Gorgeous.
call horses height hands. How many hands high?
16.
That's
He
a-
was 16.3. Yeah.
That's a big
A
horse.
hand is like 4 inches, and you
Right.
measure to the withers.
Thank you.
know?
And the withers are what's like the back of the horse, kind of
yeah,
you're
between the
behind shoulders. Yeah.
yeah.
I know a little horse stuff. Lorraine, thank you for sharing that with our audience. There are a lot of people out there, I am so sure. Wilbur, that don't know this. Did your horses have favorite shows? Did you notice they responded to some shows more than others?
Not really.
No.
No, they just
Okay, they
stood
were just-
there. They were. We'd give them carrots. And,
You would feed them while they were watching
yeah,
TV.
oh yeah, they got there. If we had popcorn, they'd have carrots.
Were they pretty clean in the house?
Well, we did put newspapers behind them. Just
Well, you could
in
put a
case.
wee. You
Because
could
if
put
they decide to go,
Yeah,
you have
right.
no warning.
Right.
The tail lifts up. And
Yeah,
there it
you
goes.
could use wee. I'm trying to think how people at home can make this work. What about like wee pads? You could order
We
from.
just used
Chewy.
old newspapers. We
You
put
could
them
do that,
under,
but the wee
yeah.
pads are like really easy. You know, newspapers. I know about this stuff. I live with 2 rabbits that are loose in my New York apartment, and I haven't been without a rabbit. I'm sharing this with you guys in 45 years. This is the guys on the street. I always have 2, and they're loose. All my furniture is eaten. My wires are covered in the room where they are. And I had a bunch of people over to my New York apartment 2 weeks ago. It is very much like Grey Gardens. Like you walk in, you think it's gorgeous until you see the piping is chewed on the couch, the skirt on the couch, and the molding. Everything's got little things out of it, but they can't get electrocuted because my super came up. You have to have the wires covered.
And they just run around.
They hang out with the parrot who's also loose. So she it's a trio,
Oh.
and she oversees their
Oh my
eating. So she had to
God.
give herself a job. She oversees their eating during the day. I know
Oh
I'm
my
I'm as
God.
crazy as you are, but this isn't crazy. We all need to do this. So
And Lori has a pigeon. Lori and John.
okay,
have
now
a
we're
pigeon.
laying it all out there. Lorraine
Ralph-
Towers rescued Ralphie with his poor little mangled foot, and really she took him to a vet to try and get the foot straightened out,
Mhm.
and then to another vet that said maybe it could be straightened out if they had done it the first time. I mean, what Lori put into this amazing soul named Ralphie, who by the way lives with 2 cats, and people will tell you, oh my God, cats and birds, bull. Okay, and this pigeon is definitely part of Lori's
It's
family.
incredible.
It's
I never
incredible.
heard of anyone having a pet.
I
pigeon
have. I used to
before.
have a vet in New York that took care of pigeons because the pigeon ladies would, the pigeon ladies.
Yeah.
You would bring the pigeon ladies in. I don't know. We got off on this
Oh.
tangent here, but I need to get back. No, but you know what?
You're responsible for bringing us back.
Yeah, Keith is going to bring us back. You know what? It's about music at the end of the day. And as artists, it's about our dimension. And this is all part of your dimension.
Oh, I wanted to say one more thing about Lori and John.
Yes.
About the radio show that they do every Wednesday.
Yes,
night from
WFM.
FMU.
Thank you. Every
It means
Wednesday.
the underground.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing. I watch it. I listen to it for 2 hours, and my dog Brogan is their mascot. They said so.
Oh, they
Brogan's
did.
the mascot they love.
Brogan's
They
an
love
Irish
Brogan.
Terrier?
He's an Irish Terrier.
Can you say it with a brogue for me?
Brogan of the Brogans?
I love that.
He's an
Can't
Irish
do
Terrier.
that.
But
Can't
anyway,
say it.
this FMU show is my favorite thing.
And it's
and-
from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock.
no, 10 to midnight.
10 to midnight.
So it's like
Right.
after dinner, but the LA folks tune in and they're making dinner while the show's going on. So
Right.
there's a big chat. everyone's chatting, and then they're playing all this really great
They
music.
play really cool music,
Yeah.
and a lot of the people whose music they play have come on this show. So yeah, make sure you can go to Lori Towers' Facebook page, and she always has on when the show's on, and she's got every link in the world on there.
So
She's
fun.
good with those links that Lori Towers is in check, and John. So yeah, we're all artists. One hand washes the other. That's what it's about at the end of the day. You have this new single coming out. I also read you have an album coming out in 2025.
Yes, it has to come out. It's
It has
scheduled
to,
to
yes.
be finished the January 20th that week. It's supposed to be.
This is coming up.
Oh
Really.
my God, I've been working on this. I've never done this before, and I don't recommend it piecemeal. Like, write the freaking songs, get the basic tracks, do the overdubs. Don't leave months in between and years in between, because you know what ends up costing you more money.
Yeah, it would seem that it wouldn't, that you could,
No,
pay
but
as you
it
go, but
would.
in the
It
end, because you
does.
have to keep getting everyone together again.
Yeah, and it's like it's.
See, I don't know any of this.
I'm never doing it this way again. But
You live it,
anyway,
you know what, you live and you learn, but it's coming
Yeah.
out. This is something.
It was just life came in, like the pandemic came in. Like I was putting out Razor Wing Butterfly 2020.
Right. I have a list
I
here
was
that I
so
want to go
proud
to.
of that
Right.
record, and at the week I was putting it out, the freaking pandemic happened, and oh my
Well, I was
God.
having a really great life, doing really well, and then the pandemic happened and everything. I have been an entertainer since I'm 21 years old. I never had a survival job. I still don't have a
Uh-huh.
survival job. I did corporate industrials. I did the whole thing. Everything came to a crashing halt. Nothing, zero.
Me too.
And I started doing, these podcasts have been amazing. It opened up another creative outlet for me. Now I just have to hope the money follows, which is what I told you. I'm waiting for that Netflix contract. Waiting.
Yes, yes.
Right? Like you said, your husband's waiting for another TV contract.
Yes,
We love those
yes.
contracts. But okay, we'll talk about the pandemic. It was a creative time for you then.
It was just nothing but bullshit. Because
Oh.
I play every day. I practice every day, no matter what. So it wasn't like, oh, I got all this free time. I get to be an artist. I am an artist. I've been an artist.
I
my
love you,
whole
Laurie.
life.
I really do. You
You
are an
know?
artist. You have been one your entire life, and then all of a sudden, everything is shut
pandemic
down. I was
wrecked
at
me.
Parkside Lounge the night. Do you ever play Parkside Lounge? You know where it is.
No,
It's
I
on
never-
House,
I don't
and there's
play
a lot
there.
of bands that
Oh,
play
yeah.
there. And who's the girl who runs it? She's Australian. She's at the
It's been a while.
She's
since
so
I've been-
cool. But the guy who did it is the one who stars in Dexter. He was starring there that night. His band is called Butterfly,
Princess
Princess
goes to
Butterfly,
the Butterfly Museum.
named by his daughter, right? And we were hearing this whole pandemic, and they were shutting New York down. But I'm a lot like Laurie. So I've lived in Africa, and I've been in areas with Ebola and everything else. I'm like, okay, there's this virus. It's not that I disbelieve what they were saying, but I'm like, screw this. I'm going out tonight. And things were shutting down already. And a bunch of us went to the Parkside Lounge to hear the Butterfly band with the guy from Dexter. And there were supposed to be 2 shows. There were not a huge amount of people there, but I coerced a bunch of friends, and we were there. And then all of a sudden they said, we're not doing the second show. And I'm looking around and I'm like, oh, this shit may be real. And then we go out, and I never miss a photo op. There's Dexter on the street, and he's, gathering like the band. And I'm like, can we take pictures together? It was a perfect opportunity because everyone was like fleeing.
Yeah.
So, I used it for the photo op that it was. And then I went and got a drink at a bar across the street that said we're closing in 10 minutes. And then my friend drove me home in their white Jeep. And my friend is trans. And I said, Nicole, when you think of all of this, don't you think it's a bit of an overreaction? And she said, oh, I definitely do. And
Yeah.
lo and behold, guess who had COVID 6 days later? One
You
of the
did.
first cases in
You had
New
a really bad
really
one.
bad. I was in all these study groups for people that lost their smell and taste from all over the world. That particular strain of COVID was everywhere. There were people in my group from, I hope I say it right, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. And I got called Columbia University. I became like a test project, I couldn't smell or taste anything for 8 months. The only thing I smelled was a dirty sneaker smell, like sneakers in a locker room.
Yeah.
What a godforsaken thing to be left with.
Right.
And no rhyme or reason from anyone if my smell and taste would ever.
Because they don't know. They don't.
Because
know
they
anything
didn't.
about
They
it.
didn't
Well,
know.
you're also like, I mean, there was a lot of people from that weekend that were out that died.
Right.
Yeah.
And
That's when it all
then I
started.
live near a bunch of hospitals. Fuck, the refrigerator trucks. It was
Yeah.
all real. And you know what?
Yep.
I don't know. Like you were like, I'm making art all the time. I don't need this pandemic. You were pissed about it.
Yeah.
I was enraged about it. because
Nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. And how could such a thing, I still am, how could such a thing have been allowed to happen all over the world? I still can't wrap my
It's
head around
happened
it.
before, and it might,
Well,
happen
right. And now
again.
we're still dealing with strains and everything else. As a creative
Anyway.
person, I came up with this show. I wanted to do something. I was sitting here.
Yeah.
We were shut down on the inside. We were sitting under a heat lamp. Tim Moss, my co-host, and I. And I'm like, we could do a show. She's like, what do you mean? I said, we could do a podcast inside Pangea. There's no one eating in there. And I said, my PR people have all these major music people. Their tours have all been canceled. Leland Sklar.
Such a
Yeah.
good idea.
Leland
Yeah.
Sklar came out with the most brilliant. He came out with the most brilliant YouTube channel during this whole thing. He is such an incredible person. But I had access to everyone. They were home, so I
Yeah.
tried to use it as you did to the best of
So
our
smart,
ability.
Wendy.
Well,
Wow.
you know what? Could I live without it? I absolutely could.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you, I'm still getting my footing, and we're into year number 5. I don't know.
I think once I have this album out, I
You
think I'll
think-
forget about it.
You think you
Yeah.
will? It'll be like childbirth.
Because
You
I
forget
had-
about the pain.
I run a songwriters group.
Tell me
and
about your songwriters group.
We meet every month, the last Saturday of the month, and it's for people who have songs and they want some feedback, or they're having trouble.
I didn't even. It's like a workshop.
It's a workshop once a month at my house.
Wow.
And then I have a monthly showcase where I showcase my songwriters, comedians, all artists at Pete's Candy Store. That's a monthly residency.
And that's so I check that out because I'm a comedian.
so you can come and
It's
perform.
it's in Brooklyn. Not that I have anything
Yes.
against Brooklyn. It took me 3 trains to get home from my daughter's house in Park Slope the other night. I cursed the whole entire way home.
I'll send a horse for you.
No, I love you so much. And I would ride that
I'll
horse.
send you Tony the pony.
No, but I would definitely, when the weather gets nicer, I can certainly go to Brooklyn
Yeah.
and back. Pete's Candy Store is in
And
Borum Hill.
No,
It's
it's in Williamsburg.
Williamsburg.
So it's really close. It's right beside the second
it the-
stop of the L.
oh, right. And I know the L quite well, but I found the other night I took the G to the L to the 6. I never
that's
heard about
easy.
the G train at all, but in Park Slope the F wasn't running. So I took so if you're off the L train, girl, I am there. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so I do that every.
What do you do, like 5-minute sets?
No, I have
Like
13,
for
I have
comedians.
13 artists booked like a coven. And I start out and we
I
all
love
play a
it.
song. We go to the last person plays 2 songs, and then we go all the way up. And then I close it out.
And what about the comedians?
Well, usually I'll only have just one.
Oh, good. I could be
Yeah.
the one comedian.
Yeah, you can
I'll
do
only
one. I
be
have
there
a
for 5. I only do
storyteller.
5 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's
Short
fine.
but sweet.
Yeah.
Keep them laughing. Get off the goddamn stage. I hate
Drink.
And then, well, no, I drink before because I do find that one drink. I just do one drink. I find
Uh-huh.
that it, just whatever it does, I really start to find my center. Without the
Okay.
drink, there's a little bit of like, too much
Okay.
thinking going on. I have one drink. I don't care.
Okay.
We're all
Yeah.
better when we don't care. We're all better when we
Yeah.
just get up there, right? And we just perform. I'm finding out all this stuff about you, which is
So all those things that I did, the songwriters group, I run a t-shirt company too.
I was going to
Songwriters
ask you
group.
about that. I wrote down merch
Yeah.
in my notes. By the way, no, I have to tell everyone, you got to go to her site, which is LorraineLeckie.com. It's in the banner. The reason you got to go is the t-shirts are really good.
Well, the t-shirts are actually on Billy's site. They're on www.billysantiques.com.
Okay, so
'Cause
they
they're-
can't. Do you have
they're-
a link
because-
that'll take people from you to him?
No.
I'm
No.
sure.
But I gotta fix it. I gotta fix it
Yeah,
up. But
let's do
Lorraine
it.
Leckie and her Demons are doing brand new t-shirts, so I'll have those on the website. And then
should be on your website.
for now, I
sure.
want to get your size and Tim's
Yes.
size, and then I'll get you the Billy's Antiques, and then the Lorraine Leckie and her Demons will come out pretty soon.
Oh
a
my
few
God. And I
weeks.
love these t-shirts. I actually do wear them. I am a
Yeah.
t-shirt kind of girl, you know. I wear them
Yeah.
when I'm in the house. I wear them to the gym. I wear them to the gym. So that would be really good because I belong to Crunch Gym. Their t-shirts are so terrible, but they're not
Right.
as terrible as some of the other t-shirts that are out there. I wear the Crunch t-shirts. Now I can do Lorraine Leckie and her demons. And then you have the, on Billy's site, you have the t-shirts correspond with your albums.
No, you know what? I'm not being clear. I always think that everyone understands me and they don't. Okay, so Billy's Antiques.
Yeah.
Billy and our daughter Selena, they designed a shirt that's infamous for Billy's Antiques. They did a beautiful
my
logo.
God.
And these t-shirts are like fantastic. Billy's Antiques, and they've been around for years, and I sell those.
Okay, but we can
Yeah.
only get them on Billy's Antiques site.
Exactly. Or for me, I can bring them to you.
All right, Lorraine can make a personal delivery, but
Yeah, I can.
I
For your birthday.
oh my, you're so sweet. Thank you. That would be great.
Yeah.
But I think also because remember I told you about my business side. What if on your website you have a great website? It's easy to navigate. What about if we put the link up there to Billy's site? It's just we can get someone to do that. Keith, are you good at that?
No, I can. I got a guy.
Yeah,
You
okay,
got a
Yeah,
guy.
I got a guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
she's got a
I got
guy.
fabulous
You got a
guy.
fabulous guy. It's just a matter of no, because I'm always I cross pollinate, even with my groups of people, with my musicians, with my explorers. I cross pollinate everybody.
Yeah.
It makes for better conversation.
Totally.
And look what happened here. We're talking t-shirts. We got all this going on. I want to just you have so many albums that you did. 2008 For Cold Angels.
Uh-huh.
Tell me a little bit about that one.
That was the first one.
Yeah,
That
your
was
very
the-
first one.
That was the very
These
first
your
one.
titles are very catchy. Who were the Cold Angels? Did they know the demons?
That was a song. The Cold Angels was a song, and it's about a gunfight. It's about pioneers that all get wiped out in a gunfight.
God, there's this whole like Ontario, Western Canada, growing up in that, you know, that kind of country, right? Where,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, they had gunfights and stuff like that.
Still do.
And they still. Well, you said it first. I was going to say it. Dirty Old Town. I know the Lower East Side was an actual film.
Yes. Yeah, it was done by Jenner first, and we did that in 2011. And that's a great little film about
Wow.
Lower East Side, and it was shot at the original Billy's Antiques
Love it.
at the big store on Houston Street.
And that one is no more.
That one is no more. Now we're in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, but that store was amazing, and it was
can
there for
imagine.
years.
Right.
Yeah,
I can.
and everybody
imagine.
and their mother
I
came.
went to that store
You did.
when I was like just up here visiting from Texas before I ever met them, and when I realized that was their place, like, oh, I remember that place.
Yeah.
How
And-
cool is
Yeah,
that,
it's pretty
right?
crazy, yeah.
Wow.
In the summer, we'd sit out there, and like Dustin Hoffman would come in, and
Yeah, it was
Jimmy
an
Page
outdoor-
and Catherine
it was an indoor,
Deneuve and
outdoor
people
store.
like that.
And I love it. Jimmy Page and Catherine Deneuve in the same sentence.
Yeah.
That's what New York was and should be. And there's still a vibe, but the kind of stuff that Lorraine is talking
Oh
about
my
doesn't
God.
happen anymore. It just doesn't. You wouldn't
We just sat there. We
Yeah.
met Jim Jarmusch and his wife Sarah
stop.
out
Right.
there.
Right.
And we like it was. We just sat out there and it was boiling
Yeah. And
hot.
just you
the
can watch
place
it-
had no heat and no air
No air,
conditioning. It was a
right.
tent.
Right.
Yeah, it was like indoor, outdoor. So it's, when you walked by,
Right.
it was like you could see everything, and you're like, that's why we went in there. 'cause
When
like,
did
wow,
you-
what is this place?
When did you leave there?
Ooh, bad with timelines. Maybe. I don't know.
Was it?
was-
10 to 12 years ago.
We got married there in 2005, and we shot the Four Cold Angels album in 2008, and then so I guess it was maybe 2010. or
You left in 2010.
maybe.
I remember it. That's where it
Really?
was. Absolutely, I remember walking past there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because the minute you
Thank
said it was
God.
at 10, like when you were talking about it,
Yeah.
I'm like, where was that store? I know the name. Where was that store? The tent. Of course.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so we had the tent, and people thought we left because of gentrification, but it wasn't. We just decided we had enough. Billy had
Yeah.
enough. Billy's a
Billy was done.
changeling.
Well,
He
Billy's
likes
perfect
doing
for
new
you.
Things
The
all
two of you were
time.
perfect
He
for
had
each
enough.
other,
He's
right.
like, no, on to the next thing.
Well, and
Yeah.
in Greenpoint, you have a whole new audience in Greenpoint.
he just didn't want to, he didn't want to run a store anymore.
Yeah.
He likes doing his private, he's into military antiques and oddities and special pieces, and he has his clients and private clients. And
You're kidding.
because at the store we were selling some furniture and a little bit run of the mill stuff. It's not for him.
What about Swiss Army knives?
Oh yeah, he has those.
Okay, so he buys them, right?
If he sees one he likes.
I've got a bunch of them.
Oh, you do?
I do. So we're going to talk after the show.
Okay.
I'll take some quick shots, and then he'll tell me what he's interested in.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a lot of dimensions to me.
And
I love these conversations. So you won the best album from the Village Voice, your solo album. It was an acoustic album, Martini Eyes.
oh yeah, and I did that.
It's like I'm reminding
the
you.
living
Hey, Lorraine,
room.
do you remember when you won that award?
I did that in the living room. And Martini Eyes, that was my Bulldog Chopper. So the artwork is my Bulldog Chopper. So I wrote a whole album for that.
Those are Martini Eyes of Beautiful. And then you have an album for
Eyes.
Chopper. And then 2012, Rude. Okay, this is one I really wanted to talk to you about because you kind of blew me away when you said you worked with Anthony Hayden Guest. I used to subscribe to New York Magazine, and all the really cool articles in New York Magazine were Anthony Hayden Guest.
Of course.
How did that happen that you ended up?
He came into Rockwood Music Hall, and I was
were in
releasing
Rockwood,
this
yeah.
guy, Martini Eyes, and afterwards he said, "Would you put music to some of my verses?" And I
Wow.
said, "Sure." And his stuff was beautiful, and it was easy. I kept it as close to what he had written as possible.
It's still amazing to me, though. There's so many things that have happened as a musician for you that are just these random, incredible things.
He just was in there that night.
I love it.
And he, we still work together. And if you want to have him on the show, I can get him in a second.
Yes, I would love to have him on the show. That's a hard yes.
He's wonderful.
Swiss Army Knives and Anthony Hayden Guest. In the proper order, Anthony Hayden Guest, and then we'll talk the knives after. But yes, I would love to. I have admired him for forever.
He's going to be 88. He's having his birthday. I'm going to sing at his birthday on February 1st.
If he wants, I'll send a car for him too. I will.
Okay.
He's going to be 88, and
Oh yeah, but he's as spry as
I
they
know,
come.
but you know what?
Oh
We
my
try and
God.
make it easy here. We've got good craft services. Wait, I'm hiding my
We send
cursor.
horses instead of
We
Ubers.
send horses instead of Ubers. We got it all going on. 2014 was Rebel, Devil, Rebel, Electric Rock,
Yeah.
right? And then you did a European tour in 2015.
Yeah, that was cool. And I still go back there.
I would
you know?
imagine that you know
Yeah.
they love having you. And then 2000, and now we're up to. I'm really big on timelines. I wrote a book called "She's the Last Model Standing," and I had the chapters. What I didn't have was a timeline, and I actually hired someone to take all of my thoughts and everything and put them into it. Timelines are important.
Yeah.
Because I learned this from somebody. What was going on in the world when you were doing this or that? It influences all of us.
Right.
You might not think of it that way, but it was like, what the hell was going? How did 9/11 affect all of us? That was another life-changing thing. 9/11, the pandemic.
Oh.
Now we have this stuff this thing in California has just blown me away too. I had someone on last week. I streamed her in. She did a documentary, No Country for Old People. The publicist that had sent her to me, she informed me when she came on last week, his house burnt down. I mean, this is someone I have been talking to. He lost his house. This is real stuff, folks. This is the stuff that we as artists have to connect to. And, we can make a difference out there with other artists. And then, of course, 2023, you did a tribute to the Ukrainian people, Blue and Yellow.
Because I'm very close to that, because I'm Polish, half Polish myself. And my band is in Prague. So when I go over there, my violinist Pavel is there, my bass player Yarda, and
your band. So this is very interesting, Lorraine. Your band is based out of Prague.
Yes, I love Prague, and I learned the language, and
amazing.
I'm still working on that. I'm not fluent or anything, but I get by pretty good.
But you got Keith in your own backyard, hence making music together, because the band is like over the pond.
Well,
They're two separate bands.
It's two separate bands.
Yeah, she can
So
go
you
to
got-
Europe and play with your European guys. And
European
then she's got the
demons.
American band.
So yeah, so that was my next question. So you really have two sets of demons, Lorraine.
I have two sets of demons.
Most of us only have one set of demons. Lorraine has two sets. So now this is like super clear for me. So you have your artists over in Prague,
Mhm.
and then you have the ones here. And Prague, the connection is because you're Polish, because what is it?
No, what happened is I was playing in Toronto, and this one of my favorite people in the whole music industry is a promoter, Gary Topp, who's also an artist, a writer. He just had a book. His book just came out, Gary Topp from Toronto, and he books big artists and he books smaller artists, but he's got to love the artist. Luckily, he loves my music, and he booked me to open for this band with an English singer, Phil Schoenfeld, who's based out of Prague, but he's British. He had this incredible band, Phil Schoenfeld and Southern Cross. So I opened for them solo. Then the singer, Phil, asked me if I would tour Europe. So I was like,
Of course.
sure.
Right.
And actually, Cynthia Ross, who's one of my favorite poets, she's fantastic, and she's always been a musician, and she had a band called the Bee Girls, and then she came up through the ranks and played with. She just has incredible New York history, but she's from Toronto.
Got it.
I was afraid to go over there, and she told me,
She said, yeah.
"You're going."
I can't imagine you being afraid to do anything. I
I was
have to
kind
tell
of
you,
scared,
when having these conversations, and both of you, I mean, you're a Texas boy and you're up here and you're rocking it out, bless you. That's great. You're doing what you love. This is about doing what you love. And both of you, I'm so glad that you said you were going to bring Keith on, because it is about doing what you love at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's true for all of us.
Too many people that I feel like pretty blessed that I do get to do what I want to do, and a lot of people don't.
Right.
They just get stuck in the wheel and they can't ever get out.
You know what? It's easy to get stuck in the wheel. I'm a wheel sticker who knows how to disengage from the wheel. It's got to get really bad, and then boom, and then I explode and move into the next thing. You all kind of flow, which is it's admirable. Stuff just seems to happen because you're not angst at doing that all the time.
And Keith plays in Europe too with a band called Tanith, and they're doing really well,
which is great.
Yeah, he just came back from a tour a couple of months ago.
I'm so happy that I was able to get you guys on the show, because you are hither dither and yonder and yonder. Where can people find you? You go first, and then Keith, where can they find you?
Where am I? I'm not on TikTok. I'm scared to death of it.
I'm
not on what's X, because I don't like
I just
that guy
can't.
that bought
I
it.
just can't even.
I can't. So
it's so much of it is a waste. TikTok is not a waste of time if you're a certain kind of person. You want to put the time in to promote your career that way. I use social media a lot. I use social media to get people to book me for jobs, and it works. I don't have time to be putting funny videos up on TikTok, and I don't. I'm not going to do it. So your website is www.lorraineleckie.com. Okay, that's really simple. And Facebook, Lorraine
I'm
Leckie.
on Instagram.
You are on Instagram under Lorraine Leckie.
Yeah, and I'm on Facebook.
That's great.
That's it. Really.
Okay, and Keith?
Website, KeithRobinsonOnDrums.com.
I love that it's on drums, because there's probably a lot of Keith Robinsons out there, right?
A comedian, a jazz guitarist.
You were smart to put on drums. Right.
That's and then Keith Rob 2 and 4 is my Instagram. That's primarily about Otis.
Oh, okay. This is important. I should have had to put the banner up there.
Ever on there.
So you're not on there, but there's pictures of Otis on there.
Yeah.
Can you repeat it, please, again?
KeithRob, the number 2.
Keith Rob, hold on, 2. Wait, I have to. No, I'm going to follow Otis.
I try to make it as difficult as possible.
Yeah, it is. You got a lot going on. Hold on. Hang on. So it's KeithRob.
The number 2.
All right, and there's no spaces.
There he is. Whoop.
2 and 4. I got
Yeah.
him. Oh my God. Wait, he came up. I'm following. All right. This is not bad. 1,043 followers. And
Look at Otis. He's so cute. Look, there they are.
oh my God.
There's
Well,
my-
you're kind of on here, Keith.
Well, and more as of late.
Okay, but
Okay.
here's Otis. There's Otis. Otis
Now-
is like on Instagram. That's cool.
Now you got to
Look how
give
cute.
Brogan to time too.
Okay. Wait. Your
Brogan's
dog is on
jealous.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Is your dog on Instagram?
Of course.
Of course, right. Why would I expect otherwise? Where am I going to find
You
Rogan?
can just go to my thing, Lorraine Leckie.
LORRAINELEC.
Brogan is so jealous. He's so horribly
Okay.
jealous. If I show too much interest in a dog, he is really nasty.
Okay, and now my internet is not working to
Uh-huh.
see it, but
Because Brogan's a
there he
haunted-
is. Okay, here he
so
is. I
look
got
at-
him. Oh, he's a
Sure.
beautiful Irish
look at-
Terrier.
you can
Look
turn
at
it
the
up.
little face. Let's turn it up for people. He's very cute. Look at it. Beautiful. Yes, we
Here's the
feature our
cute-
pets on here. That's what this
Yes.
show, you know what? It's all about the animals. Thank you guys very much. Is that my Sharpie?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just like my hand, like I'm used to having drumsticks in my hand all the time. So I'm
No,
like,
I had to share this with everybody. I'm
He
like-
tried to steal a Sharpie.
The
Look
Keith,
at
okay,
that.
my guest tried to steal a Sharpie. I'm like, shit, that's my Sharpie. He's like, so my connection with Sharpies. I try and research my guests to the umpteenth degree, and I print out their stuff. I Google it, but I make notes, which I can't read. I can't read them unless I write them with a Sharpie. This will give you like an idea of how I work. And sometimes with some guests, I have like 10 pieces of paper. They've all been done with a Sharpie. I can't be without the Sharpie. I order them from eBay where I get like 12 Sharpies for a ridiculously cheap price because I go through Sharpies. So I did
Yeah.
notice that Keith had my Sharpie.
yeah. Give me that back.
Kleptomaniac guests here today. Thank you very much to everybody who tuned in today. Again, I'm going to run this on my Facebook page after the fact because of the little snafu we are experiencing with Facebook Live. Technology is a bitch. You guys are great. I just love the heck out of you. And Lori told me that I would. And of course, Lori Towers never lies. An amazing person. Everyone have a really great rest of week. Again, today is my birthday. If you're a friend of mine and you want to donate somewhere, the Pasadena Humane Society or anything that's going to help our friends in California, they need the help right now. Thank you very much. I'll see everybody next week. Bye-bye.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.